Are you drinking liquor?
I'm not drinking liquor.
Oh my God.
I mean,
I thought,
I'm not drinking, but I can get a drink if you want me to. If you're gonna get one, then I'll get one. I mean, it's past 2 o'clock.
in the comments, I want to see nothing but big foreheads and lips.
You're disrespectful, Kenzie.
Buddha bless this beat.
What's going on, crypto cousins? It's your Bitcoin baby daddy here with another episode of Crypto and Culture. So today we have Shanique. I'm gonna say it right because if I don't, I'm gonna get yelled at. Shanique Adams from Paxful. She is the AML KYC manager at Paxful. I may not be saying that right. I may be dumbing down her position because we got grown black women in Paxful making impactful. Wow, that's corny as hell. Wow, no. Well, she's making an impact, y'all, and she's doing it in the crypto space. So I'm gonna stop because I'm messing this up. And go ahead and Shanique and tell them about yourself.
Well, like you said, my name is Shanique Adams, and currently I am the anti-money laundering compliance manager at Paxful. So you got that right.
Oh, I said KYC. No.
That's part of it.
Okay. So tell me just a little bit about like what you do there. For people who don't know what AML means, go ahead and let them know what AML means and what does that play in your job or at Paxful? What does AML play at Paxful?
Yeah, so AML stands for anti-money laundering, and do you want me to say what money laundering is?
I know what money laundering is, but the audience. It's for the audience. Yes. They don't know because you got to make sure I explain it to them for anti-money laundering. What's money laundering? You know what I'm saying? So just right. Break it down.
So money laundering is the process by which you take money that is the proceed of crime or any type of illegal means and make it look clean. So you want money that came from the illegal system to be able to be blended into the legal system.
Okay, that's good. Now, just tell us a little bit about your background. Like before, like we just jumped into it, but tell us a little bit more because I was snooping through Instagram and all that stuff, and I saw that you was a Delta back in the day, probably still are. So just tell us a little bit more about your upbringing and how did you even get into like the position you are now?
Sure. Yes, you're giving me the good Black History Month treatment.
Yes.
Yeah, so I am originally from Brooklyn. I actually got on my Biggie shirt today.
Christopher Wallace.
Yeah, so I'm originally from Brooklyn, Bushwick to be specific. I'm the oldest of 2 girls. We were raised by a single mom. My sister, she went to business school. I always give a shout out to my sister for anybody who watches my channel. And Kenzie, you're gonna link my channel, right?
Of course. I got to. It's gonna be in the link in the description below, y'all.
Great. Yeah. After high school, I went to undergrad at Northeastern University, and you are right. I am a Delta because it's Delta for life. So. Yeah, so of course, shout out all my line sisters in IOTA chapter. And after Northeastern, I went to law school at Seton Hall University in New Jersey. And then I got into compliance, like general financial services, so working at various banks. And then I was in consulting. I worked in Big Four consulting in anti-money laundering advisory. I did that for a couple of years, and I was feeling like I wanted to get back into, industry as they call it, but I knew that I didn't want to go back to financial services. So that's when I decided to try to get into crypto, and here I am.
All right, let's go. That's what I'm talking about. So essentially you've been in finance 1.0. I like to call it finance 1.0 because that's finance 1.0. You did the rounds in finance. Now you said you worked with some, like, what are some of the bigger companies that you've worked with?
So, the biggest one, I was at Bank of China right before I went to consulting. So I was there in their legal and compliance department. All
right. Facts. So Now that you're no, did you own any Bitcoin before you became a cryptocurrency exchange AML manager?
Well, Paxful is a platform, not an exchange. We're
Oh,
peer-to-peer exchange. So get that
wait,
straight.
wait, hold up. Now I gotta cut you off. So they're not an exchange; they're a platform.
Yes.
So what? So do you still have to? Well, this is probably a Paxful question, but do they still had to get the New York, the New York license? Which license is it?
You're talking about the bit license.
Yeah, the bit license. Did they still have to get a bit license?
If you want to be in the crypto business in New York, you already know. So.
Okay. So keep going.
Yes. At the moment, we're not accepting New York users because for that very reason.
So how do you get your coins? How you get your coins?
I mean, it's a big, even though I think New York is the whole world, New York is not.
Because it's called Finance Corrupt 1.0, bro. Because that's just how it is. But yeah, but like I said, when did you now you don't have to say when you bought your first Bitcoin, but when did you start getting into cryptocurrency?
So back in, I want to say 2014, I had heard about Bitcoin and, some of the kind of chatterings around it. So then I started doing my research. And then in 2015, there was a continuing legal education program. As you know, as an attorney, you always have to get these credits and, keep your knowledge up. And I saw that there was one about Bitcoin at the City Bar Association here in New York. So once I saw that, I thought, like, if they're already talking about this from the legal perspective, this is going to be something. So I went to the, event, and I noticed that they had all tech people on the panel. Like it was no actual lawyers. It was just like tech people and finance people. And then that's when I had kind of felt, even in 2015, like, oh, I'm late to the party. And, so that was kind of my first, exposure to it. And then from there, I just kind of ran and wanted to like consume everything I could, because I felt like, all right, if the tech people are into it and the finance people are into it, and now the attorneys are getting into it, it's just a matter of time.
I like what you said there. I like what you said when you said you felt like you were late to the party even then.
Yes.
I love hearing that, because so if you want to, I know my channel knows my story, but if you want to know my story, during the bull run of 2017, I missed the entire bull run of 2017 and literally got in December of 20 in December, like December 16th. I can literally go into my Coinbase account and look at my very first Bitcoin transaction, and it was the day, like the specific day of the top, like the top of the market. Like that was when
I went a little bit after you, and the funny thing is, it wasn't even that I had wanted to do it, and I was kicking myself that I didn't buy back when I went to that CLE, in 20. The price was $300 back then, but it was one of those things where at that point it was still kind of just like this concept of like, this might be something, or it could completely be nothing. So I think that was my thinking back then. And I was just kind of waiting by the sidelines, like, all right, something's going to make me think that this is real. And that's what prevented me, I guess, from putting my money into it. But in terms of like learning, I had always been learning and consuming all types of content around it.
All right. Big facts. But yeah. So you said you got in a little bit, you started actually investing a little bit after. So you've been in the bear market with me. We've been. Oh, no, don't make that face. He's like, oh yes, I'm here too. But hey, dollar cost average, man. It can say.
Honestly, it's true. Like, that ride on the way down, it was painful. But then when I look at like my average BTC price, I'm like, oh, it wasn't that bad. Like,
it's really not that bad, as long as you really have a long-term mindset and really just if you really truly believe it, I feel like since you've already taken the next step, you're buying, but now you pretty much jumped over buying and said, no, I'm in the industry. I'm rubbing shoulders with some dudes like, hey, what's up, oh, you been in here since 2009? That's what's up. Yeah, tell me what you know. Give me these secret insider trades. No, I'm kidding, no, we're not gonna do that. I'm not trying to get nobody in trouble.
And I don't know. I wasn't there. It wasn't me.
Okay, good. So let's go a little bit more into like Paxful and just break down a little, because clearly Paxful is not an exchange. So tell me more about Paxful and like what it is.
So as we said before, I'm speaking in my personal capacity.
Yes, of course.
On behalf of the company. But the difference between, let's say, a Paxful and a Coinbase, as your users would know, Coinbase, you go on, you can use your, like, let's say, debit card. Hey, I want to charge X amount of dollars, let's say $100. Then you'll just see a debit, in your account, $100 plus whatever the Coinbase fee is. Whereas Paxful is a platform, so we connect buyers and sellers. You're not buying your Bitcoin from Paxful, you're buying it from another Paxful user. So you can say, Kinsey, hey, I have X amount of Bitcoin I'm willing to sell, and I want to sell it in exchange for whatever it is. There's like hundreds of payment methods on the platform, including other crypto, but also other things. So, you can say, hey, I got Bitcoin, I'm willing to trade my Bitcoin for some Ethereum, and you can post that offer, see if somebody, is going to make you a deal. If someone accepts your offer, then y'all have a deal. The platform facilitates that. You mark that you got it, they mark that they got it, trade is done.
All right, big facts. Oh, okay, so that makes a little more sense for me. Who is my guy? I got another dude. He's African, like he's in Africa, so he's not just black, but no, for real. But he has a YouTube channel. He's in Africa, and he's with the Paxful team out there. I don't know if he works for Paxful, but he's like he uses Paxful a lot, and like that's his thing.
Yeah, he's probably an affiliate or part of the peer program. So
makes a whole so much more sense now. So then let's get into this AML, this anti money laundering. So I know you guys can't tell y'all secrets on what Paxful does and like how they finding people, but maybe you can give like maybe a brief description on like how Paxful is essentially saying, well, this is dirty money, between this isn't dirty money. You know what I'm saying? Because I know for a fact you guys can take what is it? You guys can PayPal, debit, prepaid cards, and so it's kind of difficult for me to understand, like, how are you finding out what's the dirty money and what's the clean money?
Yeah, so I mean, when you think of it, like I had mentioned, I come from traditional financial services. So it's the same idea as something that, let's say, your bank would do, right? If you think about how much, you do with your, let's say, your own checking account, right? Like everybody pretty much has a checking account. It's the same kind of ideas. Do these payments make sense? Just like anything else, analytics, we're looking at patterns. Are you way above, an average that we're expecting? Are you way below? Are you the right age? Like if you think about it, crypto is a young person's game. So if we see somebody, if you see somebody that's beyond a certain age, you're gonna take a look twice, because we're not really expecting our grandparents, let's say, to be into crypto. So, it could be, different things. You might see certain messages that they might give us indications that, this person is potentially up to no good.
Drop the Molly at the spot.
I mean, you'd be surprised the things we see. But like I'm saying, even like I told you, I spent, time at a bank. It's a lot of the same scams that people use in traditional banking. And I think that that's one thing that the industry kind of needs to be better at promoting, because a lot of times, you watch Law and Order or, NCIS, and it's just some, scary person, send me Bitcoin or else, I'm going to leak your nudes or whatever. But at the end of the day, that might be one thing that's, unique to the space. But if you think about it, the scams, the identity theft, all of that kind of stuff that goes on at a regular bank, too. People cashing checks for other people. How many times have we, heard that one? Go put your name on this. It's the same scams. It's just,
crypto.
Yeah,
it's the same scams. Send me $10 and I'll send you back.
Right, they're still doing it, and I'm sure you saw it. When I put Bitcoin in my bio on Instagram, from that minute, so many people, hey, if you just wire us $50 or send me $50 of Bitcoin, and then I'm gonna give you 100 back. Like, it's the same thing.
So I don't know if you remember. I think like 2 weeks back, I literally had an Instagram impersonator.
You did. They followed.
Look, oh, they didn't get you. Oh, clearly they didn't get you. What am I talking about? Anyway, but no. So it's almost instant. And so what is it? Yesterday was Cash App Friday for Cash App, and I was posting like all the winners of the Cash App. I don't know if you saw that, but then I'm like a social media like lurker, just be looking and staring through people's stuff or whatever. Don't mind me, but I was going through it and I kept seeing the same thing that all these, which was weird to me because they were all black girls. Like, I was like, Cash App over here just spending money on black women. I'm like, what in the world?
That's how you knew something was wrong.
I was like, oh, it's Black History Month for real. No. But yeah, guys, if you didn't go to my Instagram, this is probably way too late by the time I post this video.
I mean, it was dope what they did though. I definitely think that more, just people in general need to start doing like that to, get adoption out there. No, I think that's a lot of people are like, that's one of the best ways for adoption. But back to the scam thing. So when I went to the women's pages, I saw them posting the same thing. No, I didn't have to send them $10 to get the money that they sent me. And I'm like, oh, so now even Cash App can't stop the impersonators from saying, oh, hey, we're Cash App too. Send us 10. And honestly, the more I see that happening, the more I realize, oh, we're about to go through another cycle soon. Yeah. And honestly, it really is. The bigger the scam, the more Bitcoin will pump. Like, BitConnect was one of the, like, if I wasn't around at the time, but apparently it was like the number 3 to, it was like the number 4 or 5 coin, and everyone knew it was a scam. And it just got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And so essentially what I'm leading off to is, we know that we're going to be in the next bull market when we see the next big scam, because at the end of the day, people aren't going to do their research. Majority of people are going to buy at the top, and they're going to get into these scammy, whatever they are. But the SEC is coming in and cleaning up. But all I've been seeing them is they're cleaning up a few people, but from what I see, they're attacking some of the good actors too, and not just the bad actors. And some of these good actors, they ain't really do nothing wrong. I mean, but you know how that goes.
Payola, big. You got to get that payola. What was I going to? So, one of the things you were saying when you were talking about anti-money laundering and how crypto is a young person's game. Granted, I'm almost hitting 30. Like I'm 29. I'm getting 29 this year. I feel old. I'm not gonna ask your age because black women don't age. But you saying that it's a young person's game, and it people don't realize it really is. Like, when I look through my subscriber base, because YouTube allows you to go through your subscriber base, my majority of my audience is like my age and younger. Yeah, like it really is. Oh, sorry, my mic cut off like that. I got.
Wait, I was like, did he ghost me?
Look. If anything, I'd be Tommy, cause Ghost ain't shit. I like I know I'm dark, but I want to be Tommy. I'm Tommy did some slimy things, but I want to be Tommy.
He really was consistent, like
Consistent with the bullshits, but except for that one chick. That one chick, I'm glad she had to die early. This like season 2 stuff. Don't mind me.
Holly had to go.
Had to go. But so back to what we were saying, it's a young person's game. So if we understand that, then how do you see the future of cryptocurrency going, when we know that it's like we have these young teenage 20-year-old 22-year-old millionaires, they're all these young crypto millionaires, and how do you see this moving forward in the next couple of years? Because clearly this cryptocurrency can't be this thing that's going to make you rich forever.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that we need to get more payments involved. Like, naturally, every kind of technological wave is a young person's game, right? If you think about it, when debit cards came out, your grandma wasn't running to get a debit card at first, right? She was like, I'm going to write my checks like I've been writing my checks. But then slowly, they made debit card use more easy. And then, in a lot of cases, the banks and stuff push you. Like, they're like, we're not even going to be sending checks anymore. We're not going to do that. So I think we definitely need something like that for crypto. Like, we need stores to start accepting it, or, I think what you probably know this better than me. What state was that I think they said they were going to start accepting some type of either tax payment or water bill for crypto? Like, we need something like that.
All right, so when it comes to Florida allows you to pay certain things with their crypto. We actually have like a coalition out here, and so I know a couple of people that are on the little coalition, and we got mad Republicans out here, and Republicans love their crypto. Like, as much as people don't want to say it, Republicans love their crypto. And so we're not getting super bad laws out here, unlike New York, but we got decent laws on to pay like your your tags on your cars and little small taxes like that. You can pay in Bitcoin, but I'm not sure if they're still doing that. I think that was a test trial. We've got Wisconsin's a very big state that's allowing they've like pushed like Bitcoin is property out there. And
right. Yeah. And I think that's what we need more of, because when you do that, that's what's going to incentivize people who are not just nerds and young people and all of that to do it. Because, like, I'm in my 30s, so I'm like right in the middle of millennial, right? So it's like, I might not be doing the newest thing, but anything that can make, life more convenient. Like, if you can just like, I got student loans like everybody else, right?
Lord.
So, and remember, I went to law school, so.
Oh God. Oh no.
I start crying and then the whole interview be messed up. But if we had something like, I know they have, if you put let's say your student loans on auto pay, they give you a little discount in your interest rate. If we had stores or even governments or something saying, hey, if you pay in crypto, we'll give you a little discount, I think that would also bring people.
See, the thing is, a lot of these, like, especially the online stores that accept it, a lot of the online stores do say, hey, if you're paying in crypto, it's this much less. But then the government comes in and says, any transaction, that's bomb. We're gonna hit you with that. So I feel like that's something that's really difficult that we're gonna have to get through, because until we get our payola, our legislation, until the people who are crypto millionaires pretty much buy out politicians, and I know that sounds terrible, but that's just how the politics work.
Yeah, I mean, this is America, right? Like,
but yeah, so until these, like how Trace Mayer, the reason why Wisconsin has such good laws is because Trace Mayer's out there. I'm not going to say buying his politicians, but he's making sure his politicians over there in Wisconsin are making moves.
Yeah, I mean, and that's just like with everything else, right? Like, a lot of stuff, unfortunately, this is the world we live in, right? Where we all got to find a rich person with a certain agenda who can, make their voice heard with the people in power. So,
But Yeah. But back to what you're saying about the debit cards and the checks. Definitely, these codes are they're it. Like that's it. They're there. Even though they the sign of the devil, from what I hear, that's some South crazy Christian stuff.
I'm sure I've heard that before. I heard that I was listening to something about, was it Hobby Lobby or something, like they don't have a barcode, and it was something because they were saying it was something like that. If you scan the barcode, you playing with the devil.
How do we even get, like, who makes up this stuff? Like,
I mean, look, believe what you want to believe, but that
look, if the Bible had a barcode and it said this right here's the devil, okay, yeah, guys, we gotta stop messing with this.
That seemed like it was real far apart. Like talking about barcodes at the last supper. Like, come on now.
Anyway, but how do we get more of our people into this? So that's really what because I realized that all the other black people, like especially like in like the earlier days, a lot of them were promoting scams, and so it already gave us a dirty face. But there are a few individuals like Bitcoin Zay, Crypto Blood, I can't remember my dude from Africa. Oh my God. My guy Low Key. So there are like maybe like sprinkles of black here and there. But how do we get our people more into this? Because our people, when it comes to money, at least a majority of our people, when it comes to money, if you are not like balling, flossing, buying cars, they don't believe you. They don't listen to you. So if you're not a rapper on TV, if you're not a baller, football player, whatever, it's like, oh no, whatever you do, it don't really make money like this makes money. You feel me? So tell me about it.
I mean, I think just like with everything else, I think we might need somebody to get out there and do that. Like, I'm not saying like lie to people, of course, but for instance, like when I was learning about trying to teach myself stock trading, right? Naturally, you're going to gravitate towards the person that's like, oh, I saved up $500 from my job at Taco Bell, and then I, taught myself how to invest, and like now here's my Lambo, or whatever it is you got. Because at the end of the day, you don't want to follow somebody who's not successful, and unfortunately, what do we think success is? Like, that's a whole different conversation, right? But naturally, if a person looks like they got a lot going on, you're going to believe them. So I think we do need people who have done well in this space, be it, professionally working in the industry, or even just, investing. Like, we do need people to be more vocal about it. I do my little part on my little corner of, Instagram and Facebook and all of that.
You ain't into crypto. I don't see no crypto posts. You lying.
You're gonna lie to these people.
I don't see. The only post I ever saw was you over here talking about you can't get in your Coinbase account. I'm like, oh, poor thing.
Yes, Kinsey, and I hope everybody's seen to see how you treat your guests. But no, it's one of those things where, and I know Bitcoin Zay had talked about this on Twitter. He had kind of like a tweet go crazy, and it was nothing related to. You remember the situation, right?
So his girl, and of course, you got some crypto trolls out here. So the trolls was trying to troll him, and blah 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 blah. And he's like, I don't even need to show y'all my girl. I know my girl fine, and I met his girl in person. His girl fine. No disrespect, my guy, but
that wasn't even the point, right? Because the whole thing was that he was just talking about. He tweeted about a conversation between him and his lady, and then people just mobbed him, and then he said like, hey, I wish like my crypto content got this kind of traction. Like, and it's sad because I know for me, like, I could, let's say after you and I hang up, right, I could go get on my phone, go on IG story, and like, tell like, oh, let me tell y'all what kind of eyeshadow I have on today. Let me tell y'all about this lipstick that you cannot buy because it's exclusive, right? Like, and I'll get a bunch of reactions from that, right? Or, or like when I had to travel to Estonia for work, and I was talking about how miserable I was because they don't use washcloths over there, and I was running around the whole Estonia trying to get a washcloth, like PK. So, but
they
then
dirty over there.
Look, I'm not judging people.
They dirty, bruh.
Look, Washcloths are cultural, and we just gonna leave it there.
We going whatever, but yeah. So, but what?
Yeah, so that's the thing, and the reactions that I got from talking about how happy I was to find a washcloth in a foreign country, that gets way more engagement than when I say, hey, if you could tell me what line this song is from, I'll give you $5 in Bitcoin, right? My followers didn't change. It's just I'm talking about a different kind of thing. We just got to get people more interested in it. And, I saw the video that you did talking about you were going to do the portfolio. I want to do that. I think we need to do more of that.
And you don't get the engagement. You don't get the push that you usually get. The followers are the same, and it's not changed. But the moment you start talking about crypto money, but let's talk about these housewives. Let's talk about what's Kobe. Let's talk about, oh my God, is his wife cheating on him? Or what? Like, what are we talking about, guys? Like, is this gonna change your life?
But you know what it is, and I talked about this, when I discussed it at work. Like, for some reason, and I mean, I'm sure you know the history. Like, especially Black folks with the traditional financial system, like we've been the victim of the worst, treatment by the finance system. So anytime people hear money, new money, like they kind of have that PTSD about it. And I get that, but at the same time, I don't want us to be late to the situation.
The sad part is we're going to be it, and it, like, me and you and all the other individuals in the space, we can only do so much. We can only save, like, hey, Jesus is coming, y'all. Like he said, he finna flood this bitch. Get on this boat. Nah, we good. Hey, you gonna get on the boat? Yeah, bro, I got you. All right, cool. And so I'm gonna focus my attention on the people that do want to get on the boat. And they're not. And the sad part is it's going to happen again. We're gonna go through another bull cycle, and there's gonna be another me out there that's gonna be like, what? Oh, people get rich, I'm buying at the top. And they're gonna get hurt, and they're gonna leave. And in the few that stay, they're gonna come and they're gonna find us, and hopefully. But I remember I was on Crypto Blood's channel, and I said, when Black people get in is when I know I need to get out. Because all right. Am I right or wrong?
Okay. So now, if this was the traditional stocks, I might agree with you. However, I still feel like because we're still in the infancy of this industry, that's not 100% true. Because if you think about the amount of people who own Bitcoin, it's like so infinitesimal, like across all races, populations, whatever. So I definitely think that we could get in it. Think about everything we do. Everything else we do gets knocked off, right? That's why the Kardashians are worth $1 billion, right? And the girls who swag they stole are not. So I definitely think that we can make it pop and make that work in our favor if we're strategic enough.
But what we really need, and y'all may not like this, but we need definitely a privacy coin, and I think Black people can make a privacy coin really pop, because at the end of the day, government doesn't even talk about privacy coins. They don't even mention, like, I love how every time I see all these, like, oh, we're going after this coin, and we're all SEC's cracking down on this coin, but they don't ever even mention privacy coins ever.
I mean, if you got a conspiracy mind, then you know what it is, right? Like,
nah, I know exactly what it is. It's because they know they can't stop it yet, and they don't want people to know about it yet, because they haven't figured out how to. Now we need to be able to track this, bruh. No, we can't. We can't.
Think about it, and was it like last year or the year before? I had gone to another attorney event, and it was like they had the law enforcement, people there talking about it. And if you would have heard the way that they were talking, it was the same old, people from the Malcolm X documentary. Like, they was there looking mad old, talking about it, and it's like they probably just don't have the know-how to even understand a lot of the things that's going on. So it's just like the same thing with our parents, right? Like, if your parents is in their 50s and 60s and they don't get it, a cop or an attorney who's in their 50s and 60s probably doesn't get it either, right?
What are me and you going to look like in 10 years? That's going to be a very, God willing, I live another 10 years. This is going to be a very different conversation that we're going to have in 10 years. What kind of conversations you think we're going to have?
So, I mean, for me, I kind of think about it, and I don't know if you've ever had these conversations with your parents or any older family members. Like, I know the situation, that I grew up in. Like, we had a single mom. So, like, my mother didn't have thousands of dollars laying around to, let's say, buy Amazon when it was $100 or whatever. But I kind of think about that stuff like, yo, think about all of the people, the position that they in, that they, bought Amazon early or they bought Google early. Like, I hope that, you and I 10 years from now be like, oh, we got a Bitcoin at, my average Bitcoin price is 8, 9, 10,000. It's
10,000.
Yeah, like yo, you 80 years old. Like,
no, but that's the thing, because you over here screaming $300. I'm like, $300.
And you know the thing that I kick myself because back then I was like, yo, I just want to throw $1,000 into something, and I didn't do it, and then I waited. So it's like, had I took $1,000 in 2015, that's 3 BTC. But no, what did I do? I put in 1,000 in early 2018 or something like that. So it's like, you know what I mean? So it's like,
you know what time it is.
You know what it is? I really do think, and I've been tweeting this a lot, like, we kind of, as Black people, we need to get a little bit more fearless with spending that kind of thing, because Black people, we will spend some money. We will go get drip and fly out and stunt and buy red bottoms and everything, right? So, like, we're not scared to spend money. That's not the issue. The issue
we're not spending the money in the right places.
Here we go. So it's like the same way I think we need to be comfortable saying, like, yo, if I spend this money on a pair of Louboutins, or I'm right here looking at my Louis bag, like,
she rich?
I'm not rich at all.
She rich.
Listen, I gotta pay rent tonight, okay? So
what you talking about? Look, they about to take it out my account in like 2 seconds. You think it's a joke?
Auto debit. You are rich. I don't have no rent on auto pay.
Oh, no. I put that rent on auto pay because I need to know what I'm working with by day 2. All right, how am I going to survive off of this month?
I'm not using the grace period.
No, but I can't use.
Everybody using the grace period.
And ain't nothing wrong with using the grace period. But yeah, so. But yeah, so back to saying, like, what we're going to look like in 10 years from now. What are your goals in crypto? Are you trying to be a crypto millionaire and be out here doing this stuff? Or like, what's the end goal for you for this?
Well, naturally, so twofold, I think of it, right? So I think about personally as well as professionally. So professionally, like, I just am excited to see where Paxful and the industry as a whole is going to go. Because I really do think that whether it's exchanges and platforms getting big just on their own, or if it's going to take maybe a major bank to buy an exchange or, something like that, I would love to see, mainstream adoption, and how that would change the way it looks from a professional standpoint. And then personally, of course, I hope to be, a crypto millionaire. And I think, those of us that do have, some influence and voices, I want to be part of that. And I want to get more out there because, unfortunately, we tend to, like you said, Black people, we tend to miss the financial waves, so hopefully I want to use my little, part of the internet to get some of the people who I know and who I can reach involved.
Okay, big facts. I see. We out here trying to save people, but we have to save ourselves first. I gotta get I'm sorry. I want my Lambo. I don't want no Lambo.
I feel like if there was a couple of us that really, really got on in some type of major way, like, that we would be bringing along somebody. You can't name one, wealthy, successful Black person that don't have, some kind of friend or relative on the payroll. So you know that would come.
I don't know. I definitely know that will come. And in the space, I know we don't really see our people in this space, but I know they're there, or at least their financial advisors got them a position. When you were speaking of the Kardashians and how they stole everybody's swag, I'm over here thinking about, well, who you think told her, like, whose swag to steal? Kanye right there. And I'm sorry, Kanye's my favorite rapper. I know we're not friends no more. It's okay. We can end it now.
He was everybody's favorite rapper at a point until he,
until he got rich.
Until he went to the sunken place.
No, he ain't. I don't know. Anyways, we're not gonna go down that path. But because the reason why I bring Kanye West up is because we were talking about people that I know that are in the space, but just don't talk about it because their advisors are. Back in, I believe, 2013, I think that's how far back it was. Some nerd made Kanye coin. They made a Kanye West coin.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah, they made a Kanye West coin back in I believe it was 2013. It was called Coinye. That's what it was called. Coin. That's how you know some white people made the shit.
It doesn't roll off the tongue.
And so they called it Coinye, and Kanye West hit him with the lawsuit straight up and told him to shut it down. And so now that coin's gone forever. But the fact that he was around even then, I'm like, oh, he's got to have like an advisor that's telling him this, and that. I remember during the bull run, Kim Kardashian was out here, had her cryptocurrency nails on, and each nail was a different cryptocurrency. And I'm like, oh no, these dudes knows what's up. They all know what's up. They're not talking, they're not speaking, because they doing the same thing. They're accumulating. They're gonna get as much. And then when this thing blows and when it gets hot, it's gonna be amazing for us because we're here. And I'm gonna be like, Shanique, I'm be on the phone like, girl, we rich as fuck. What you thought this shit is? But I'm getting my little BTC wallet. I'm just be scanning shit like, hey, yeah. Now all my money on my phone. What you mean? But I do know that a lot of people are gonna get hurt. So do you think there's anything that we can do to at least minimize that pain that people are gonna get in?
Yeah, I mean, well, one, we have to acknowledge that that's just part of capitalism, right? Like, unfortunately, like, we have to all go through this freaking election right now, and there's a big debate about that. Like, we know that's just the name of the game. Like, every winner, there's going to be even exponentially more losers, right? But I think we should do our part, those of us who are in the space, to try to educate our people. And that's one thing that I feel like we could actually do. Like, I want to be doing more of this. I want to be doing like live events, because at the end of the day, we still social. Like, I want to have a Bitcoin brunch party. That's what I want to do.
Oh, you ain't see my Bitcoin mansion party I threw back in? No, I'm playing. I ain't throwing no Bitcoin mansion party.
Honestly, like think about how dope that would be. Like, if there was really any type of event that people would go to. Like, think about if Duce Palooza was like, yo, you got to pay for your ticket in Bitcoin. Like, you think people wouldn't do it? Of course they would.
They didn't have a choice. They wouldn't have a choice. We get, hey, make sure you buy it like 2 minutes before you get the ticket, because that big gonna drop in price later.
This is what I'm saying. Like we all go to these things, like all of the things that we go to, what is it? The other one, the champagne brunch, the one in Liberty State Park, the Clico, the Vouv Clico brunch where everybody get dressed up. Like, if they said, yo, to get these tickets, you got to pay in crypto, everybody would be, how
I do that? How, no, it's like 50% off. Like, niggas would lose their mind.
But that's what I think we need. That's what I think we need to be doing, and that's what I would want to do more of. Because at the end of the day, I don't like when people are like, "Well, if you're only in this industry to make money, then like you're not in it for the right reasons." It's like,
shut the hell up.
Who's in the stock market for the technology?
Who's buying Apple stock because Apple's just? I love the phone.
Right. Nobody was like, oh no, I like their take on the lack of the headphone jack. So like, nobody cares about that, right? Like, you're there because you want to buy it at this price and sell it at a way higher price. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And I think that we need to admit that, and we need to embrace that and start doing more events and content. And another thing that I want to say is, I think we need to acknowledge the type of people we are, right? Like, us Black people here in America, we're not Chinese people. We're not dark-skinned white people, right? Like, we're Black. We have a certain kind of culture. Like, let's think about our culture and the things that we like, and, formulate things off of that. Like, they bite whatever we do anyway. So let's just have some fun with it. The way I feel.
No, and that's what like I said, that's what I try to be doing on my channel, but people keep telling me you got to keep a professional, Mackenzie. I'm like,
professional,
because ain't like, so right now in space, people really want news. People really want to get the news, whatever is going on, price speculation, what's the next hot altcoin. But a majority of people, they don't want to see news, especially not black people. They want to be entertained. And so that's why I try to up my game in the video editing. I'm trying to entertain people and try to show them like, no, there's a better financial system for us. And there's no one telling us we can't go to it. No one can stop us from doing it. Like, it's right here. It's growing every fucking day. This shit is growing every day. I'm like, man, what am I doing in this? This is nonsense. And then something hits and I'm like, yo, this is dope. I need to get in. Like, I started getting into DeFi and I'm like, oh, this is dope. These exchanges is going to be done in like 20 years. Because once you have DeFi, it's a wrap. Like, once it gets like legitimate, there's nothing that, like, I won't even use a regular exchange anymore.
I definitely think that we need more of that. And I think, like, when I watch you, I'm coming to see you, you know, what is Kenzie talking about? And I think that that's something that we, that we all need to, you know, admit. Like, because at the end of the day, especially in a place like YouTube or Instagram, you do connect with the person's personality. So I feel like you can kind of almost talk about anything. And if people, you know, I was almost about to say a cuss word, but if people mess with you, they mess with you, right? Like, yeah, no,
I'm sorry. Let me help you out. Yes, they fuck with me. They fuck with me heavy. And I appreciate you, audience. Make sure you leave a like and comment for big lips and foreheads, big foreheads and lips. In the comments, I want to see nothing but lip emojis and foreheads. I don't know how you're gonna get the forehead emoji on there, but I want to see lip emojis and foreheads in the comments after this video.
You're disrespectful, Kenzie.
How is that disrespectful?
No, I like it though.
I'm about to say, like, all the finest women out there have big ass foreheads. Like, I could really name them down. Like it's not Carrie Hilson, Carrie Washington, huh? No, but Carrie Washington has a big ass forehead. Who else has a big ass forehead?
I agree with you. So now I gotta fight him after I hang up this thing.
You see, thank you, bruh. I appreciate you. If you can hear me, I got to air that for you. I appreciate you. Oh, just to let you know, Rihanna got a big ass forehead too. Yeah.
That's what he said.
Oh, you see, he must be Haitian.
He's not Haitian.
No.
I do see friends Haitian sometimes. He got a lot of Haitian friends.
Hey, Sock 5 man. All right, let me chill out, man. That's the only thing.
He's over there mouthing my boule.
I fuck with him. But all right, so I don't want to keep you on here too long. This is just going to be the first introduction. I know we're going to have another interview and we're going to come back. And next time I want to get into... I didn't want to be like too extra this video, but next time I could see that... Yeah, this is just the first day. You know, I can't be out here trying to do some crazy shit. But just some quick fire things. Sure. Price prediction by 2022.
Ooh. I have no idea, but I wouldn't be surprised 2022. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we was in like, after a couple more market cycles, I would say I wouldn't be surprised if we was at like 40, 50K.
Okay, 40. You conservative with it. I like it because...
What's your prediction?
2022? Yeah. Well, the stock to flow model said... Anyways, no, but 2022, by the end of 22, if we really have these 4-year cycles and if Bitcoin's really uncorrelated to any other assets, people talking like... If we're talking beginning 2022, and that's the end of 2021, I would say we're either on our way back down to 20K from 100K or like 150K. Yeah. No, I'm being real. Like, either we're coming back down or we're about to push that last leg up to 150K.
So you think that within like 24 months we could really realistically see 100K?
Yeah. There's not you're in the space. We're in a very illiquid market.
That is true.
Big foreheads, big lips. You already told her where you can find you.
Are you put my links in the description box, Kenzie?
Oh, of course. Got to put the links. Go, guys, go down there, get what you need. But thank you so much, Shanique, for being on the channel. I can't wait for our next conversation. We gonna put it in the air and say at least a month, maybe 2 months at max. How about that?
I was watching your stuff and I got inspired. I saw a couple things that I might want to, do.
I want to say thank you so much, Shanique. I want to say thank you so much, Mystery Man in the background, for understanding that Rihanna has a big forehead. Other than that, guys, check me out next time. Yes, in the Pisces. Check me out next time. Take it easy. Peace. Yeah.